Tere, minun nimi on Howie Fitzmaurice and welcome to Estonian Cricket Weekly. Before we get started, please like the video and subscribe to the channel to help us spread Estonian cricket to the world. It was the final week of the Bluff VPN T20 matches with 6 teams still vying for the top 4 and semi-finals qualification. The Riders took on the Hippos in a must-win match for both teams, and it was the Riders who won the toss and elected to bowl first. The Hippos got off to a flyer. At the end of the power play they were 54 for the loss of no wickets. Stuart Hook was particularly brutal, hitting 57 from 33 balls, and the total was 86 for 1 when he was dismissed in the 9th over. Marco Vike then continued his impressive form, carrying his bat and scoring 53 not out, taking the Hippos to 158 for the loss of 4 wickets from 20 overs. The Hippos bowlers then came out firing, with Owen Feely taking 3 wickets in his first 2 overs and debutant Olu taking the 4th. The Riders then clawed their way back into the game with several good partnerships getting them back on track and putting them right back into the game. After 15 overs, they were 177 for 7, needing 42 from the final 5 overs. The Riders' tail gave it their all, but were finally dismissed with the first ball of the last over, falling just 13 runs short. The man of the match was Owen Feely for his brilliant 3 for 12 with the ball. Rising Stars took on United knowing a win would lock in a semi-final spot. United won the toss and decided to bat. Nan Ria fell early, then Ayush Umit and Ankur Patel took the score to 74 in the 8th over before Ankur was dismissed by Mamun Manan. Ayush and Dimal then combined to devastating effect, taking United to 167 for 2 off just 16 overs before Ayush was out for 80 from 50 balls. Vimal was bowled for 56 from 34 balls, and then some late hitting from Sahil took the total to 224 for 4 from 20 overs. A massive task for the Rising Stars became even more difficult when Midal was bowled on the first ball of their innings. Wickets continued to fall regularly, with only Udian and Nazmul offering any resistance in the top order, scoring 24 and 23. By the time Mamun hit a blazing 24 off 14 balls, the match was already beyond reach. Mamun was caught attempting another big hit, and Talon United recorded a massive 99-run victory. Man of the match was Vimal for his 56 and 2 wickets. United played Stallions in a dress rehearsal of next week's semi-final, and it was United batting first. Ayush was dismissed early, but that was the only joy for Stallions. Nand was in fine form, striking multiple boundaries and was well supported from Sahil. They took the score to 142 for 1 before Nand was finally dismissed for 80 from 42 balls. Sahil reached his 50 shortly after, but was then bowled to leave United 158 for 2 from 16 overs. The late hitting from Vimal lifted United to 193 for 4 from their 20 overs. The Stallions, of course, started steadily, with Saif Rahman setting the pace. They were 63 for 2 from the power play. Saif fell just short of his 50, caught behind for 45 from 27 balls. Zishan then took over, pushing the score up to 158 for 4 before he was bowled by Ashish Rana for 44. Leaving the Stallions needing 36 from the last 26 balls. Despite some good hitting, they could not reach the total, falling just 5 runs short and finishing on 188 for 8. Man of the match was Nand for his 48 ball 80. Congratulations to Talon strikers who take top spot on the T20 table for 2022. They will play 4th place Talon Hippos in the first semi-final next weekend. 2nd spot goes to Talon United, but only on net run rate, so a fantastic season by them. They will play 3rd place Stallions in what should be a fantastic second semi-final. In the high 40-40 competition from Group 1, Talon United and Talon Hippos qualified for the finals, with Tartu desperately unlucky to miss out on net run rate. Group 2 saw the Talon Strikers and Talon Stallions come through to the final. So on Sunday, we will see once again the Strikers against the Hippos and United taking on the Stallions to see who makes it through to the finals on September 4. This week, we go back to the first round of the World Cup qualifiers in Finland, where ECA President Stuart Hook had a chance to catch up with Croatian cricket legend, founder of the Mediterranean Cricket League and good friend of the Estonian Cricket Association, Jeff Grzinic.
So hi guys, it's Stu and Dave from Estonian Cricket Association. We're here in Helsinki. We're joined with Jeff from Croatia for the World Cup sub-regional qualifiers. Welcome Jeff, thank you for your time.
No problems at all, Stu.
Yeah. I guess both of us not being under 21 anymore,
Yeah.
but back in the day when we were following Australia and England and stuff like that, we probably didn't realise that countries like Finland, Croatia, Estonia had cricket teams. When was your first recollection of Croatia actually playing cricket?
Oh, well, I always knew they played a little bit of cricket, as in on a very social sort of level.
Yeah.
But it's probably back in 2001, 2000, something like that, where I got a phone call out of the blue asking whether I'd be interested in participating in a European tournament for Croatia.
Yeah.
And it sort of all started from there.
So back then, was that was probably the 50 over tournament, was it, back in those days?
Yeah, we played 50 overs back in those days, and I was just absolutely thrilled. I thought, what a great opportunity. I was playing Wacker cricket for Perth back in the day, and got a call out of the blue, and just it was fantastic. I didn't know it sort of existed at that level with ICC tournaments, etc.
On from that, you then obviously created the Mediterranean Cricket League. That's been going for 5 or 6 years now. Was the European experience in Austria something that kick-started that sort of dream for yourself?
Oh, absolutely. So what had happened, we'd had about 10 solid years of European cricket at the international level, and then it pretty much dried up for us. The ICC made some changes with the structure. Yeah. We played a tournament, I think in Guernsey or Jersey, and we'd finished in the bottom half. There was a decision made that the sort of top half would progress with the European cricket, and the bottom half would sort of have to fend for themselves for a while with the European cricket. We'd come so far as a federation in Croatia, and we had, I just couldn't. I really thought we needed something to keep us going. Yeah. I think the fact that we had the national tournament every year or every 2 years to look forward to, we needed to keep that momentum going forward. And I sort of saw the faces of the guys that on the CCF board and local players, and everyone's pretty glum about the fact that there was nothing to sort of play for anymore, so to speak. So I decided that, I've done this for 10 years now, over 10 years. Why don't I create a tournament? So I went to the CCF and sort of pitched that idea of let's make a tournament that we can have our best players playing in, and obviously invite teams from around the world to participate as well. They thought it was a fantastic idea, and the MCL was born.
Yeah. And then from that, it's obviously grown year after year. It's got a lot more recognition. People seeing Croatia as a cricket playing opportunity. Are you looking at things in a bigger light moving forward with that, as well as the Croatian side as well?
Absolutely. Croatia being such a tourist destination as well sort of lends itself to the cricket tourism type scenario. So the way we sort of sell it is exactly that. You come, you bring a team, but you don't only bring a team for a boys' weekend or a boys' tournament. You bring your wife or your girlfriend or some friends and family, and you come over and have a great holiday in Croatia and play some cricket as well. And that obviously gives our local players an opportunity to play against some really good players from around the world, and Europe, of course, which sort of develops other countries as well. So they get that opportunity, if they want, to come to the MCL and play and develop themselves in between sort of ICC tournaments. So it sort of lends itself to sort of developing cricket in Europe.
Yeah, it's certainly a great idea, a great vision, and it's certainly working. I know a lot of us from Estonia come across, and we incorporate a couple of weeks annual leave into a decent competition and stuff like that. So it's certainly one to keep an eye out for. So coming into Finland and Helsinki, obviously it's a big project and stuff like that. Who are the sort of mentors and supporters that you've called upon using their experience in the lead up to this Croatian T20I international series here in Finland?
Quite fortunate that over the years I've been able to developed some pretty strong friendships with some high-level international players. Obviously, we got Simon Kadic, Brad Hogg, and Darren Maddy, who are ambassadors for the Mediterranean Cricket League. So Brad being unavailable for this tournament to come over to Finland, Darren being in the UK, he was very, very keen to sort of get involved, and so he became our coach for the tournament, which was fantastic for the guys as well to have that sort of experience on hand to sort of help the guys through running a tournament and the ups and downs of those sort of experiences, because the guy's been to World Cups, so I think something like this for him would be almost a walk in the park. So it was great to have that sort of experience on board.
How have the players reacted to having those sort of names like Brad Hogg, World Cup winner, Darren Maddy, Simon Kadic? Obviously, no introduction needed. have the players like really taken on board and used the resources available?
Absolutely. I think they've jumped at the opportunity, and you can sort of see every time someone like that speaks, they do listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those great opportunities for them to learn. And I sort of always, even Mate as well, we when we speak to the guys, we sort of make sure that they utilise their skills as much as they can when they're here. They're given their free time, so why not use the sort of, tap into the knowledge that these guys have got from playing cricket all around the world at the highest level. So it can only help. So that we really do try and implore the guys to sort of, take them out for a coffee, have a chat with them, ask them story. I mean, those sort of guys are always willing to tell stories about back in the day when they did this, that, and the next thing. So it's we sort of definitely try to tap into as much of their cricket knowledge as we can. Yeah,
it's amazing. I was having a couple of beers last night with Kevin O'Brien towards the end of the evening. He's here with Italy, and even though Kevin came to Estonia during the year, every time he says something, you listen that little bit closer.
Of course you do,
because he's still in the scene.
Yes,
and it's really exciting that players like Darren Maddy and Holden Kadich and Kevin O'Brien, stuff like that, are willing to put in some time to associate cricket. And there's others who can't make it here this time, but they've pledged their time moving forward. So it's exciting times, isn't it?
Of course, absolutely. I think it's fantastic. And it makes you walk a bit taller knowing you've got someone like that in your corner. Yeah. So when they speak, they speak with some authority. It's fantastic. Like Darren at this tournament, it's been amazing so far already. And the guys have really got around him, and, we've been calling him Darren Madic. He's just, he loves it. He's the honorary Croatian for the tournament, and the way it sort of feels is it feels like he's been with us forever. Yeah. And the guys have really embraced him. So we're going to hope we can keep him for a little bit longer.
What's the expectations now that you're here, you're playing, you've seen the conditions and stuff like that? What would you like the team to achieve by the end of this week in Helsinki?
We're certainly not overawed by what we've seen. There's nothing there that we think is unattainable for us as a group. I think individually we're all good enough to play at this level. We're seeing some pretty hardened teams that have played together a fair bit, so they know how each other works, and I guess that's what we lack, is that cohesiveness as a team and knowing roles, etc., within the team. So we're sort of finding that out on the run, which is pretty tough. But having said that, look, we've got some good individuals. We've got some great camaraderie. We obviously Croatians, when they play together for their national side, are very patriotic, and so that's something we don't have to build. That's one thing that's a given. So we've always had that as our spirit in our team. So look, I think we're going to get better the more we play together. It's pretty obvious. Look, we hope to make some changes maybe with how we approach this next game based on what we've seen in the first one, and let's take it from there.
For now, thank you for your time, Jeff. All the best, Croatian cricket and everything moving forward, and good luck, guys, and thank you again.
Always a pleasure, Stu.
Thanks, mate.
Semi-finals time, so let's take a look at the Sportsbet.io previews. Strikers v the Hippos. Well, I'm picking the Strikers. Look out for Habib Khan, who's had a couple of weeks break and is fresh and ready to go. For the Hippos, look out for Marco Vike, who has actually scored 8 50s this year in all forms of cricket.
Congratulations to all teams for making it to the semi-finals, and we look forward for an interesting weekend up ahead. For the T20 games between Tallinn Hippos and Tallinn Strikers, both the teams have shown their worth on the field. While Tallinn Strikers have the collective mindset of being victorious, Tallinn Hippos have the potential and the unity of bringing a game home. My pick for this game is Tallinn Strikers. However, I would like to see Tallinn Hippos give an interesting fight.
United v the Stallions. I'm picking United. Look out for Vimal, who's had a 28 not out and a 56 off 34 last weekend. For the Stallions, though, look out for Saif Rahman, who had 45 off 27 last weekend and an 85 v NATO.
For the T20 game between Tallinn United and Tallinn Stallions, Tallinn United have proved their mettle against most of the teams to be the better team. However, with the depth that Tallinn Stallions have, it would be interesting to see how they both perform on field. My pick for the game is Tallinn Stallions. However, I am hopeful that Tallinn United shall prove to be a befitting opponent.
United v the Stallions. Well, I'm picking the Stallions in this one. Saif Rahman looking to replicate his EPL record-breaking 300 from a couple of months ago, unstoppable in the 40-over format. For United, look out for Sahil, who had a 35 not out off 11 and 110 off 58 versus Lithuania just recently in the Baltic Cup.
For the high F40 game between Tallinn United and Tallinn Stallions, my pick would be Tallinn Stallions for their ability to take the game deep, which is very essential in such a format. However, Tallinn United is not a team that would hand over victory that easy. It would be exciting and interesting to see both the teams use brain and brawl in this format to get through to the finals.
In our high 40 games, Strikers v Hippos, I'm picking the Strikers. Look out for Arslan Amjad, well rested and having a really good year. For the Hippos, look out for Stuart Hook, that had a 57 off 33 against the Riders.
For the high F40 game between Tallinn Hippos and Tallinn Strikers, Tallinn Hippos would definitely be looking forward for a victory in this format. However, Tallinn Strikers would definitely want to be as close to being victorious in this format as possible. My pick for this game would be Tallinn Hippos for their sheer on-field vision to be able to control the game. However, without doubt, Tallinn Strikers are worthy opponents in this format as well.
A massive weekend of semi-finals ahead of us, so come down to the ground and check out the action, or you can catch all of the matches live on our YouTube channel. Thanks to our sponsors, Sportsbet.io, Hi.com, Bluff VPN, Nordcom Batoon and HML Project Management for their continued support of cricket in Estonia.